When the monsoon remembered us the first time Araf saw Mira, it was raining, not the gentle kind of rain that taps politely on windows, but the kind that arrives with purpose, the kind that floods streets, soaks clothes, and pulls strangers. Under the same shelter, he had been standing under the old tea stall near the railway station in Jaipur, holding a chipped glass of chai, watching the world blur into streaks of gray. And then she ran. In, breathless, laughing, soaked, her dupatta clung to her shoulders. Her hair dripped rainwater, and her eyes held something restless, like she belonged somewhere else. Baya yakche, she said, brushing rain off her arms. The tea seller nodded. Aarav. Tried not to stare. Failed, she noticed. You're looking like you've never seen rain before, she said, raising an eyebrow. I haven't, Arav replied calmly. She blinked. Joking, I've seen it. Just not like this. She smiled, then a soft, curious smile that would stay with him long after that day. I'm Mira Arav, and just like that, something began. After that day, Arav started noticing patterns, same time, same tea, stall, same rain, and somehow, Mira kept appearing, sometimes with a book, sometimes humming a tune, sometimes just watching the world like it was a story only she understood. You follow the rain? He asked one day. No, she said, sipping chai. The rain follows me. You're dramatic. You're boring. I'm realistic. You're afraid. He paused. She looked at him, not joking this time. And for the first time, Arav didn't have a reply. Chapter 2. The city between them days turned into weeks. They began walking together after the rain stopped through narrow streets filled with the smell of wet earth and spices, past old temples and glowing streetlights. Mira told him she loved music. Old songs, the kind that made you feel like time had slowed down. Arav told her he worked in his father's business. Numbers, accounts, stability. You sound like you're already 50, she teased. And you sound like you've never worried about tomorrow. She shrugged. Tomorrow will come anyway. Why waste today worrying about it? He didn't understand her, but he wanted to. Chapter 3. The secret she carried one evening. The rain didn't come. Arav waited. No Mira. He came again the next day. And the next, nothing. It felt strange how someone who entered your life so casually could leave behind such a heavy silence. A week later, she returned, but something was different. She was quieter, slower. You disappeared, he said. So did the rain, she replied. That's not the same. She looked away, Arav. Do you believe that some stories aren't meant to last? No, he said immediately. That's just what people say when they give up. She smiled faintly. I wish I believed that. Chapter 4. The truth. It was another rainy evening when she finally told him. They were sitting under the tea stall, watching water flood the streets. I'm leaving, she said softly. Where? Mumbai. For what? A treatment? He frowned. Treatment? She hesitated. I have a heart condition. The rain grew louder. I've had it since I was a child. It's getting worse. Arav felt like the ground beneath him had shifted. You never told me. I didn't want to be someone you felt sorry for. I don't feel sorry for you, he said quickly. I just care. She finished. He didn't answer. Because the truth was, he did. More than he was ready to admit. Chapter 5. The promise. The day she left, the sky was clear. No rain. Arav stood at the station, watching her hold onto her small suitcase. You hate goodbyes, don't you? She said, I hate unfinished things. She smiled. Then don't think of this as an ending. Then what is it? A pause. He shook his head. That's not how life works. It is for me. She stepped closer. When the monsoon comes again, meet me here. And if you don't come back, she looked at him, really looked. Then, at least you'll know I tried. The train arrived, and just like that, she was gone. Chapter 6. The waiting months passed. Summer burned through the city. The tea stall remained. The streets remained. But something was missing. Arav tried to move on. He buried himself in work numbers, deadlines, silence. But every time clouds gathered, his heart would race. And then the first rain came. Chapter 7. The monsoon returns. The sky cracked open. Rain poured down like it had been waiting all year. Arav ran. Not walked, ran. Through crowded streets, through traffic, through memories. He reached the tea stall, breathless, and waited. Minutes passed, then an hour. People came and went. The chai grew cold in his hands, and just when he was about to give up, still afraid of the rain, he turned. Mir stood there, thinner, paler, but smiling, alive. Chapter 8. The love that stayed. He didn't speak. He just pulled her into an embrace. She laughed softly. I guess you do care. I never stopped. The rain fell harder. Did it work? He asked. She nodded. It wasn't easy, but I'm here. He closed his eyes for a moment. Relief, gratitude, something deeper. I waited, he said. I know. How? She smiled. Because I would have. Chapter 9. The beginning again that evening felt like the first day all over again. Same rain, same chai, same stolen glances, but different hearts. Stronger, braver. I used to think love was something dramatic, Mira said. Big gestures. Moments, and now, I think it's this. She gestured around them. The waiting, the showing up. Even when you're scared. Arav nodded. I used to think love had to make sense. And now, it doesn't. They both laughed. Final chapter. When the rain fell years later, the tea stall still stood. Older, faded, but still there. And every monsoon, without, Feylorov and Mira returned. Sometimes with umbrellas, sometimes without. Always together, because in the end, their story wasn't about perfect timing, or easy choices, or even certainty. It was about two people who met in the rain, got lost in life, and still found their way back. And every time the monsoon returned, it remembered them.